Join me as I take on the ultimate challenge of surviving the AI struggle and see if I can come out on top. The world we live in today is vastly different from the one that we knew just a few years ago. The rise of artificial intelligence has transformed the way we work and interact with each other. But with these changes come new challenges, and for many, the AI struggle has become a harsh reality. For me, I underestimated how long it would take for AI to produce meaningful results. I thought we had another 20 years before the singularity that Ray Kurzweil wrote about in his book in 2005. But the reality is that we are a lot closer to the singularity now than in 2045 when Ray predicted. So it's easy to be intimidated by the thought of AI taking over our world. The thought that AI is going to replace humans, steal our jobs, and make us obsolete is real for many. But as I've delved deeper into the world of AI, I realize that these fears are focused on the negative and not the abundance that AI will create in our world. AI is a tool, and like any tool, it is up to us to wield it wisely. And I don't think that AI will make humans redundant. It will allow us to become more efficient, and it will open up a whole new level of productivity and abundance than we ever imagined. It's not a replacement, but an augmentation. AI is meant to assist us, not replace us. So to show you exactly what I mean, let me show you how I've used AI in 3 distinct phases over the past 2 years to transform my use of AI into giving me more useful results. And think about it, if this is just the last few years, imagine what a decade of AI advances will bring. Okay, I want to quickly show you how fast the AI world is evolving. And so this is ChatGPT, and how I used to use AI was pretty innocent and pretty basic, but I would say write a blog post in the style of Seth Godin, because that was like one of my favorite things. Or this, I'd use this to write emails about how people don't know how to make offers well, and the secret is an offer stack. So I'd do something like that. This would be how I did an entire newsletter for about 6 months to a year there. And this is how I did it, okay? Secret to mailing offers that actually work. The power of the offer stack. You've heard it a million times. Make an offer. You've been told to grow your business. Problem, the one and done offer. It's over. Here's, so it gives you the whole thing. Like, here's why an offer stack works. Now, would Seth Godin write this? Maybe, maybe not. It takes a lot of liberties, and it doesn't really fit my format. Like, is that how I really want to write a blog post? Is that how I want to write an email? Or do I have different standards in place? And so I would have this inconsistent result whenever I would use ChatGPT, where sometimes it would be bang on and I would be able to just take it and publish it. But a lot of times, about 80% of the time, I had to heavily edit this thing, and it took more time to edit it than it would have been if I would have just written it from scratch. And so that was a problem, and I stopped using it. I started just writing things from scratch again. This is 2023 into 2024 that this was happening. And so it wasn't, basically I just couldn't use it. And then I was like, okay, well, what if I'm just not very good at prompting? Around that time, people are like, well, you got to get better at prompting. Instead of having these tiny prompts, you need to have huge prompts. And so in 2024, just last year, even before we rebranded Profit School and everything, I created this tool called Prompt Chef. You can still get a free version of it. It's still super useful. And it basically says, it shows you how to use it. You can get this inside of our free Profit School community at profitschool.com/community. And it's in the Measure You community, measureyou.com/community as well. But basically, it's like a cookbook for AI. How are you going to cook these things together? What are some of my best prompts that I've created before? And then it's a recipe. I want to write a blog post. I want to write a social post. I want to write a landing page. Heck, I even want to write an email. Okay, so I want to write an email. And this is what we're saying. So we wanted this to be an email copywriter. But instead of saying one sentence in here, what we're doing is we're telling them everything about our brand. So what words need to be in there? What's the point of this email? Where is it going to? The type of email, is it value? Is it a call to action? How do we sign off the email? Even like your email signature. These are the things that we'd put in place. Then in addition to that, we'd put in background information, like what makes a good email. It's a subject line. So a lot of this came from our best practices internally that we'd have in place, and we added a level of intelligence on top of it so we could get a pretty solid email. And the next step that we would do is we'd take this prompt from Prompt Chef, and this is an email that I've actually sent out before, so I'm going to show you what this looks like, and we put it into Typing Mind, which is a tool that consolidates all the different AI tools. So you can use ChatGPT, you can use Gemini, which we love, you can use Claude, and it will give you the latest version, and then it connects to the API. So it's a lot cheaper than doing this in the interface. Like this is $20 a month. This actually is something where you're paying cents on the dollar because you get typing mine as a one-time fee, and then you use API credits. So my next step was I want to write an email. I would just drop this into here. And so I'd put this in there and it would generate a result. So it needs to say Brain Gains, elevate your marketing strategy, discover the GTM cookbook, and it would give us the whole thing. Here's your hook and greeting. Here's the body of it. Here's the call to action. And this is an actual email that I sent out, although it's a different version because the AI chatbot has changed a little bit, but you can see what was required in the subject line. And then inside of here, I had the rules. So like, here's how I built that prompt. Basically, you need to include this text, and it just sort of, any input you had, it would just make it better. And this created more consistent results. Like for sure, this created more consistent results. It held to our brand standards every single time, and we use this for our marketing for quite some time. And in fact, you can still use it now, and it will work. It's pretty good at getting started. It gives a lot of the stuff that you need. You can try different models. So like if I change this to Claude and I see what's Claude going to tell me, what's the result going to be from that one. So I can create a new chat here, and I would use Claude in order to try it. It's so that I can't do the same prompt twice. So this one says, okay, Brain Gains, GTM recipes from Top Marketing Pros. So Claude 3.7 is a better version of it. It writes better copy, and so this is giving us arguably better copy. I'm not reading through it word for word, but it's a little bit better at copywriting. So this is giving us what we need. So this is enough to write an email. So that's step number 2, or the second evolution with AI. Where we're at right now is it's a combination of taking this copy here, but using even more than what we had in the prompts. Like back in the day when I created this thing, we had this grade, and it would say, give us a grade of 1 to 10 for each section of this blog post, of this landing page. And so you'd be able to grade the email before you sent it out to make sure that it's touching on things. And it worked pretty well. Now we've taken that to a whole nother level with Gemini and using these things called gems, where not only are we, we're not getting a grade here. So what I can do is I can actually just say, here's my prompt right here. And what I'm going to say is grade this thing. So let's see if this gives us a grade. Okay, so headline, get cooking with Prompt Chef. They give that a 2 out of 5, and then we need to fix it. Create powerful prompts in minutes with our free Prompt Chef tool. So they like that better. Secondary headline, we didn't have one in there. They're giving us an idea of this. Stop wasting time. So they're basically telling us how to improve this thing. So that's next level stuff. You're not just taking the output and then modifying it on your own. You're taking the output and then having AI grade itself, or you're having a different AI model grade itself. Mercer, my business partner, calls this ping pong prompting. But as you can see, doing it in here is good, but it might not be as consistent, and you have to really give it a lot of background context. Now, the problem that if I were to redesign Prompt Chef, the problem is that unless you put stuff into your cookbook, every time that you change something, you lose your history. So you'd need to put it into your cookbook. Otherwise, it's gone, or you have to go and hit undo like 50 times, and that's not going to be really an effective way to do it. So what we do is in Gemini, we can take our output here. Let's just go ahead and say, let's take our email that we wrote. You can see it's giving us a lot of analysis, but let's take this email they wrote, and then we can go into our gem, which I set up another one. We have these avatars. I showed this in another YouTube video. Make sure you look at our channel and see how we've set it. But if you look in here, we have tons of docs in here. We have personas, the 3 different people we're appealing to. We have instructions for creating virtual avatars. We have all kinds of information about how to write a better sales page and an offer. This is all in docs. So every time that we update it, it updates for everybody that uses it. And we can chat now with this gem or this bot, and we can say, okay, well, how do we discuss this? So you can actually say, please grade this email 1 to 10 for each avatar. And then you put the email in there, and let's just see what it says. So now it's going to give us those grades, but it's not just doing it based on what AI thinks is good. It's doing it based on all of our research that we did into our ideal customer profile, the actual pain points of our customers. So we're doing it based on real customers interacting with us. Would they open this email or not? And that's so much more powerful, because if you know that your real customers would open it and that's what you're going for, then here you go. So you can see here's a simulated discussion between our 3 different people. I looked at this email. It's intriguing, but Brain Gains feels unprofessional for my taste. Thinking as a marketing director, I'm looking for clear professional communication. So I like GTM recipes, but the Brain Gains is a turnoff. It's really interesting because we had that in there for a long time. Brain Gain is attention grabbing, but I understand wanting something more professional as I grow my. So they're telling me that it's not professional enough, which is good feedback. I never have gotten that before. So they're telling us, hey, here's your subject line, body, call to action. So these could all be better. And then you can see that here's the reasoning for it. Can you rewrite this so that it's a 10 out of 10? So then they rewrite it and they go through and they're going through to try to create as close to a 10 out of 10 as possible to make sure that it's appealing to the people who are the people that we want to appeal to. So I love that it said it's unprofessional, because that type of feedback you might not get, or if you're talking internally or you're thinking about a name that you gave, like Brain Gains is something I did. I wanted it to be light and fluffy and not super heavy. I want it to be fun, and so they're giving us that. Now, this is taking a little while to go through, but as we're waiting for it to give us the answer here, we're just saying, all avatars agreed, preview line, clearly communicated, but we are trying to make it better. So they're rewriting it. Boost your marketing ROI with proven GTM tracking setups. Okay, so this is their version of a 10 out of 10 of this. Now, the cool thing is that what we can do is we can take this and then we can regrade it again. We can see what the scores are as well. We can rewrite this thing, but now we're working with multiple versions of it. So we've had the initial creation with the prompt, but we've also been coached on how to make this thing better. But we're not just getting coached by generic advice. We're getting coached by our ideal customers. So it's like having a customer focus group all in one spot. And so you can see our evolution has been pretty tremendous. It's output, and then I just do all that work from my head to fix it. Then it's output, then it's better prompts, way better prompts with Prompt Chef, and better outputs because AI models have changed and improved, but also because we're prompting it better. So we're getting closer to what we want. This is how we send emails out. But then it's really like, okay, this is AI's version of it, not our ideal customer. Now we're getting coached by our customers as to what would they need to see in order to click, in order to open. And that's just so much more evolutionary and powerful. And this is really how cool this is. And this has all happened in the course. Like, we're talking about a 12-month span when I was doing the Seth Godin thing to having better prompts to having this thing. And it's only going to get faster as new features come out, as we can get these gems in place, as we can create agents. You can see in here agents. Like, what's an agent? A coder, a graphic designer. So you're a YouTube writer, cold email. So these are people are actually acting as team members for us that we can consult with. And so a lot of what AI ends up being is like going back and forth between the different roles, having it wear many hats and having it help you see the angles in an efficient way. So you're doing this in a matter of minutes versus having to spend way more time than that getting a focus group, getting somebody onto a Zoom call, reviewing the recordings, writing down notes, all that stuff. You don't need to do that nearly as much anymore if you already have locked in who your ideal customers are. We have a whole training on how to create your ideal customer profile in Gemini. So if you wanted to see how we created this thing, we've got a training. It's at profitschool.com/Gemini. It's tremendous. You will learn a ton, I guarantee it. And it's priced so inexpensively that it's like a no-brainer to join it. So I'd encourage you to check that out. But either way, I hope you enjoy this view into how I've evolved with AI. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments once you get to the end of this video on how it's evolved for you as well. So thank you. As you can see, my journey through the AI landscape has accelerated fast. At first, I was underwhelmed, frustrated, and I wondered the point. But with each iteration, I found it to be more useful. But AI is not a magic solution that would fix all your problems, but a tool that requires effort, patience, and perseverance to generate amazing results. AI can be used to automate mundane tasks, freeing up humans to focus more on creative and meaningful work. Every day, I'm finding more and more AI tools to automate my workflow and freeing up more time to focus on creative projects. One example that stands out in my mind is how we're using AI to create a chatbot that helps respond to customer queries and tells them what courses they can take. It's a game changer for us, saving us hours of time and energy, and also providing a positive user experience for our audience. Now, if you're interested in seeing how that automation works, let me know in the comments and we'll get started on that video. Looking back on my journey, I've realized that the AI struggle is real, but that is normal. With the right mindset and attitude, we can overcome our fear and misconceptions and harness the power of AI to create a better future for our businesses. So what's your experience been with AI? Are you having similar challenges or successes? Share your story in the comments below, and be sure to join our Gemini AI workshop at profitschool.com/Gemini to learn more about how to leverage AI for better business results.